Crystia!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. The Canada Revenue Agency, as well as the government, have lost their minds and gone completely full WACKO. Now, what am I talking about? Well, Canada Day long weekend has ended and Independence Day in the US has come down and started to decelerate moving into the weekend. I, for one, am looking forward to it. In fact, join me tonight on the channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central for our live stream show, Friday Night Fringe, where we're definitely going to talk about this, as well as a plethora of other things going on in the political realm. But one thing that's really bonkers to me is the behavior that we're seeing in terms of corruption. I've spoken to great length on this channel about Chinese interference, compromised MPs, scandal after scandal after scandal, Trudeau on his way out the door. But one thing that I've always talked about is the complete lack of respect that government seems to have for us these days in terms of flaunting their corruption in front of us and thinking that nothing can really happen to them, that they are untouchable. What am I talking about? Well, yesterday, the CRA posted a lovely little tweet. If you're not on X or Twitter or whatever it's referred to as these days, you'll have missed it. But the Canada Revenue, this was not a joke, just a joke on their part, where they posted out something to do with the Minions about Canadian tax. Hello, banana. Banana choppa maka laka. Oh, nah. Hashtag Canadian tax. Hashtag Despicable Me 4. Why is the government using our tax dollars to promote a new DreamWorks movie? I don't understand that. Is it because Gru, the main character of that movie, steals from everybody? Is that... I don't know if that's the implication, but of course, good friend of the channel, Marty Up North, tweeting out the CRA took down its post. I wonder if somebody will get reprimanded for this. Your guess is as good as mine, but if we look into the comments, one of the 4,600 government communications specialists, of course, somebody with a good Justin Trudeau meme saying no, nobody's going to be reprimanded. I'm sure they'll get reprimanded just as harshly as the Liberals do when they commit ethics violations, says another tweet. Not likely, but when did they pay for the likeness rights? If we don't reprimand treason. Not likely, they're too arrogant. Oh no, LOL, there are no reprimands. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It's not just the CRA that's the issue, but the reason I wanted to highlight what the CRA is doing. I mean, they're making jokes at a time when Canadians are paying the highest taxes they ever have. The carbon tax is crippling everybody. Affordability and inflation is through the roof. This is the same office, by the way, that if you remember back to the pandemic, this article was released in March of this year. The number of CRA employees fired for claiming CERB is up to 232. This is the same office that is clawing back CERB benefits for those that actually needed them, at a time when they scammed their own boss, their own employer, and took funds fraudulently from the government. Of course, there's no jail time. There's no exposing these people as to who they actually are because, well, they're government workers. So they can keep posting their little jokes and talking about it. Of course, we see Cian Bexty over here from the Countersignal tweeting out, "My tax bill this year crippling. When you shame the CRA into deleting a brain rot tweet, priceless." Of course, Cian Bexty saying, "Can you shut the F up?" And of course, their original post. I mean, somebody over to the right here asking, what did this message actually mean? I feel like it's another shot at Canadians. Like I said, the only conclusion I can draw to it is that the main character of that movie is a thief and steals money, or steals the moon, or steals whatever you say. Forgive me, I do know this movie. I have watched it multiple times with my kids. Not the new one. But the government in particular, going full WACKO. Not just with this, not just with the CRA, but we've covered as well on the channel that Justin Trudeau refuses to step down. Of course, down here, government.exe tweeting out, Justin Trudeau says he won't step down because it's his duty to defend democracy from the far right with expensive government programs Canadians need. And he'll continue to hold the country politically hostage to stop what most Canadians want, which is an election. This is brass tacks what it is that's the problem, is that Justin Trudeau simply just doesn't want anybody but him being in charge of the country. He won't step down. But although, if you go back and watch my video from a few days ago, I was very clear that I do believe the pressure is mounting. I've shown exactly where I think it is mounting. And I am willing to bet personally that by the end of summer, The pressure is going to be too high. I know that he's exempt. I know that the Liberals got rid of the rules for them to essentially remove Justin Trudeau from leadership, but the pressure is going to be too high that I don't believe he's going to have a choice. Again, when I always say follow the money, I'm talking about follow who's also in control here, who's also in charge. When you look at the questions on that video that I showed were coming from outlets like the CBC saying, why won't you just leave? These are people who are paid by Justin Trudeau. These are the woke government shill prostitutes that are now putting knives in his back. They have no choice. The writing is on the wall. I believe firmly that when the mainstream media starts to pick up the same narrative as the rest of us, there's things going on in the background that we don't see, that we don't hear, that are definitely moving forward, pointing towards an election. In fact, what also came forward, Chrystia Freeland was out at a press conference yesterday giving money to the Olympics or doing some other useless spending of taxpayer dollars. I know Jasper, Mr. Sunshine Baby, covered that in a live stream. You should go check that out. Again, he was there partially just to cover the question end of things, the Q&A. But one thing that happened afterwards is Chrystia Freeland says Toronto's MPs met in her backyard to discuss the by-election loss. Now, I've covered on the channel before, back to last week's live stream, that Stephen Guilbeault was caught egging on Chrystia Freeland, saying she could be the next Prime Minister of Canada, or she could replace Justin Trudeau. Of course, Freeland and Stephen Guilbeault have both come forward saying, no, we support Justin. We're right behind him. We're definitely going to cover him. But again, this is the CBC covering this. Again, Deputy PM also says Trudeau has her full support as some Liberals call on him to step down. Of course, they're going to say they have his full support. They're not going to come out and say, no, we're gunning for him. We just want him out of here. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland told reporters Thursday that some members of the Liberal Party's Toronto caucus met in her backyard recently to discuss the party's surprise by-election loss in the riding of Toronto-St. Paul's. Now, in terms of being in her backyard, I don't think they physically mean her actual backyard. I think they mean in Toronto. Freeland said this meeting was chaired by Scarborough-Guildwood MP John McKay, who leads the 416 Liberal caucus. McKay declined to comment on the meeting. I offered my backyard because it's a central location, said Freeland, who represents the Toronto riding. Never mind, I guess it literally was her backyard. I think it was a valuable opportunity to talk about the results of the by-election. The people of Toronto St. Paul's did send us a message, and it was absolutely incumbent to us to hear that message. Now, unfortunately, I guess at this meeting there would be no Disney Plus viewings because Chrystia Freeland is saving what money she can. But when questioned why she would stay on as finance minister while the Liberals still slump in the polls, Freeland said that's a choice for the Prime Minister, of course, saying again, it's Justin Trudeau's job to change her role. We've heard rumblings again that there are others in line, possibly those who may potentially replace Trudeau, like Carney, that would take Chrystia Freeland's role. But again, Freeland made the comments in Milton, Ontario after announcing the federal government would be investing millions of dollars to support athletes that represent Canada. The backyard meeting reveal came a day after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said he's been engaging with MPs from the Greater Toronto Area and beyond since the by-election. Now, what's interesting about that statement is, again, the questions grilled to Justin Trudeau from the CBC were, are your MPs to believe that you just don't care about their opinions because you won't hold a face-to-face meeting? Now, notice that Chrystia Freeland has held that meeting, and with all the rumblings going on again, they can say all the word salad they want. They can say all the reports they want. I am more than willing to bet the discussion came up in this backyard meeting of whether or not they're going to find a way to get rid of Justin Trudeau. One Liberal MP was told CBC News that some caucus members fear Trudeau's continued leadership could result in a major loss for the party in the next federal election expected in 2025. Of course it is. We've seen the polls. And again, I'll go back to my video where we talked about the non-confidence vote that came earlier this year, where I said this is a funeral for the Liberals and the NDP and anyone propping up Justin Trudeau. You're seeing those seats lost. It doesn't matter if Trudeau extends the election so that people can get their pensions. There are people who have just been on for a single term as an MP that are going to lose their seats as a result of backing Justin Trudeau or Jagmeet Singh or the Bloc. We're going to see a major shift in the next election if we're to believe the current polls. It says here, cabinet ministers, including foreign affairs ministers Mélanie Joly and innovation minister Francois Champagne, have come to the Prime Minister's defense by publicly stating they back his leadership. Again, of course, they're not going to say, no, we don't believe in him anymore. Freeland echoed their comments and said to Trudeau has her full support. I know he has the full support of the cabinet, and I know he's in full support of the vast, vast majority of Liberal MPs. Now, again, you got to know that's all lies. It's all word salad. Now, when she makes a quote like that, we've seen the backlash from MPs that are writing letters. We've heard about the support from Newfoundland MPs coming to other MPs that are writing letters telling Justin Trudeau to step down, to get out. Again, watch these videos as much as you can throughout the summer. I'm going to be covering this all summer long. I think the tension, again, is going to mount. If I'm wrong, I will fully apologize. But as you watch the patterns, again, the knives are out. I think Justin Trudeau is at the beginning of his end. I don't think he's going to make it to 2025, regardless of what happens in the fall. I don't think he's going to make it to that election. His only choice, really, right now, is to either step down or to come back and screw over Jagmeet Singh by calling an election to prove to his party that he can try to retain his leadership vote from the public. Let me know what you guys think down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure to hit that subscribe bar and click the bell for notifications. Join me live tonight here on the channel and every Friday night for our live stream weekly show, Friday Night Fringe, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. Again, we talk about everything that's happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, as well as some back and forth within our community. I look forward to chatting with each and every one of you every single Friday night. In fact, it is the highlight of my week, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you later on this evening. I'll catch you on the next one.